Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Enjoy the video.
The crowd laughed when they saw the old 1967 Mustang sitting in the corner of the auction yard. Its paint was faded, the tires were worn out, and the engine hadn't started in years. Most people walked past it without even stopping. But one man didn't. His name was Daniel Carter, a struggling single father who spent his days repairing cars in a small garage on the edge of town. He wasn't rich. In fact, he was barely keeping his business alive. Yet something about that Mustang caught his attention. As Daniel inspected the car, a luxury SUV pulled into the auction lot. Out stepped Victoria Hayes, the CEO of Hayes Automotive, the biggest dealership chain in the city. Victoria noticed Daniel looking at the Mustang and laughed. "You're seriously interested in that junk?" she asked loudly. Several people nearby turned to watch. Daniel calmly nodded. Victoria smirked. "That car isn't worth the scrap metal it's made of." The crowd chuckled. Daniel looked at the Mustang again. "I think there's more to it than people realize." Victoria folded her arms. "Trust me. My company sells thousands of cars every year. That thing is dead." The crowd laughed again. Daniel stayed silent. When the auction started, nobody wanted the Mustang. The bidding remained frozen. Finally, Daniel raised his hand. The auctioneer looked surprised. $1,000. No one else bid. The hammer dropped. The Mustang was his. As Daniel arranged for the car to be towed away, Victoria couldn't resist one last joke. "Congratulations," she said. "You just bought the most expensive pile of junk in the city." The crowd laughed once more. But Daniel simply smiled. Because while everyone else saw a broken car, he saw a mystery. Later that evening, Daniel brought the Mustang into his garage. His daughter Emily watched from a stool nearby. "Dad, why did you buy it?" she asked. Daniel opened the hood. "I have a feeling this car has a story." For the next several days, Daniel worked every spare hour on the Mustang. After fixing wiring issues and cleaning years of dirt from the engine bay, he discovered something unusual. The vehicle identification numbers didn't match the records attached to the auction paperwork. That immediately caught his attention. Daniel began researching old manufacturing archives. The deeper he looked, the more interesting things became. The Mustang wasn't an ordinary model. It appeared to be connected to a limited production batch built under a secret racing development program in the late 1960s. Daniel couldn't believe what he was seeing. If the documents were correct, only a handful had ever been produced. And most were thought to be lost forever. Meanwhile, Victoria heard rumors that Daniel was spending every day restoring the car. She found it hilarious. At a corporate meeting she joked about it. "The mechanic still thinks he's sitting on a treasure." Her executives laughed. But across town, Daniel kept working. Night after night. Week after week. Then one evening he found something hidden behind an interior panel. A small metal plate. Covered in dust. The moment he cleaned it, his heart nearly stopped. The serial number matched one listed in an old racing archive. Daniel quickly contacted a classic car historian. The expert arrived the next morning. After examining the plate, the historian looked stunned. "This can't be real." Daniel swallowed hard. "What is it?" The historian stared at the Mustang. "If this serial number is authentic, this car is far more important than anyone realizes." Daniel's hands trembled. The expert continued. "This could be one of the rarest surviving Mustangs in America." Daniel looked at the car in disbelief. Suddenly the old broken Mustang wasn't just a forgotten vehicle anymore. It was becoming something much bigger. And within days, news of the discovery would spread across the entire city. News traveled fast. Within a week, collectors from across the country began contacting Daniel. Everyone wanted to know the same thing. Was the Mustang authentic? Experts arrived one after another. They examined every detail. The engine. The chassis. The hidden markings. The factory records. Finally, the verdict came. The car was genuine. It was one of the rare experimental Mustangs built for a special racing project in 1967. Most experts believed every example had disappeared decades ago. Yet somehow this one had survived. The story exploded across social media. Local newspapers covered it. Television stations interviewed Daniel. People lined up outside his garage just to see the famous Mustang. And for the first time, Victoria Hayes stopped laughing. She realized something serious was happening. A week later, a collector offered Daniel $500,000. Daniel refused. Then another offered $1 million. He refused again. The offers kept growing. Every day brought a higher number. Victoria decided to visit the garage herself. When she arrived, reporters were everywhere. The same garage she once mocked had become the center of attention. Daniel greeted her politely. Victoria looked at the Mustang. It no longer looked like junk. It looked extraordinary. "I underestimated you," she admitted. Daniel smiled. "You weren't the only one." Victoria stared at the car. "How much do you think it's worth?" Daniel shrugged. "I honestly don't know." Soon a major auction company contacted him. They wanted the Mustang to headline a national event. Collectors from around the world registered to bid. The auction day finally arrived. Thousands watched online. Hundreds attended in person. The room buzzed with excitement. The auctioneer introduced the Mustang. Bidding began instantly. 1 million. 2 million. 3 million. The numbers climbed so fast that people could barely keep up. Daniel sat quietly beside Emily. Neither could believe what they were seeing. The bids continued. 4 million. 5 million. 6 million. The crowd erupted. Then a collector in the front row raised his paddle. $7 million. The room went silent. The auctioneer looked around. Any higher bids? A phone bidder responded. 7.5 million. Gasps filled the room. The battle continued for several more minutes. Finally, the hammer dropped. $8 million. The audience exploded into applause. Daniel closed his eyes. Just 30 days earlier, everyone had laughed at him. Now the same car had become one of the most valuable classic vehicles ever sold in the region. News channels immediately reported the sale. Headlines appeared everywhere. Single dad discovers hidden automotive treasure. The broken Mustang that shocked an entire city. And Victoria Hayes. She publicly congratulated Daniel. During a television interview she admitted her mistake. "I judged the car by its appearance," she said. Daniel looked deeper. The statement went viral. As for Daniel, he used part of the money to expand his garage, help local families, and secure a better future for Emily. Months later, a new sign stood outside his business. People traveled from all over the country to visit. And every time someone asked about the famous Mustang, Daniel gave the same answer. Never underestimate something just because it looks broken. Because sometimes the things the world laughs at today become the things it celebrates tomorrow. Like and subscribe.